Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Preeti. Well, this video is the continuity of AutoML series. In this playlist, we have discussed about what AutoML is and one of its important framework that is AutoVML. As we know that the purpose of using AutoML is to train the best model in the minimum amount of time, that too without compromising the performance of ML models. We know that AutoML provides a platform for non-experts as well as for experts to do experiments with machine learning. So here in this video we are going to discuss about H2O AutoML. Basically, H2 AutoML is used for automating ML workflow similar to other AutoML frameworks, but it includes automatic training and tuning on many models within user specified time limit. So this is one of the main feature of H2O AutoML, that it is a time constraint. A user can specify a limited amount of time during which a user want to train his model. So it doesn't matter how huge the data is, how big the data set is, it will always provide you better models. So therefore, more data, better models will result into better predictions. So we can say that H2O AutoML provides us better results with more stable models. Now let's talk about some of its important features. First of all, it's an open source in-memory prediction engine with linear scalability. Okay, let me explain you this in simple words. What in-memory prediction is, it stores the training in the memory and how that training process leads to predictions in future with other data or similar data sets. Or in layman words, what is actually in-memory prediction? When we as a human, when we saw any input, we stored that input in our memory, and later on if we saw anything, any matching pattern, any matching input pattern similar to that pattern, we can easily recognize that. So this is in memory prediction. We means that that input is stored in our memory and later on we can easily recognize that. The similar process happens in machine learning as well. It stores the training in memory and that training process leads to predictions in future. So linear scalability is actually it's when scalability factors remains constant as you scale. So this is linear scalability. In simple words, in layman words, it is the ability to maintain a consistent output throughout as the data is increased, as we can say when resources are increased. So it remains linear. The output remains constant, consistent. Then there comes, it provides a simple function that performs modeling related tasks automatically, such as basic pre-processing, model training, hyperparameter tuning, stacking, all those things. Next one is, it is very easy to use and adopt. It is written in Java. It is very lightweight to install. Moreover, the APIs are really easy to use. Then there is a time constraint, I have already tell you, and we will discuss these all these features in practical. Okay, so next is limit on total number of models to be trained. We can exclude the models if we want. We can even include any particular models. We can also exclude the model. It is very easy to deploy these models. Okay, so I have already told you it is written in Java, pure Java code. It's very easy to work on Hadoop, Spark, AWS, even on your laptop. It can be saved in Mojo, Pojo, or it can be saved in pickle format as well. Well, Mojo is a model object optimized, and Pojo is plain old Java object. And we will discuss about all this in practical as well. So well, next H2 AutoML has R and Python interface along with WebGUI flow, and it is very simple. Very less number of parameters are required. As you can see, first of all, we have to import H2O, then we have to import H2O class, then we have to initiate a cluster, and then we will import our CSV file from our computer from internet. then we will use H2O AutoML, and here you can also use maximum number of models, or you can specify a time, means you can put a limit on your time, like here maximum runtime seconds are 600 seconds. Then we will do training, and then we will get a leaderboard. Similarly you can perform it in R as well. Fine. So there are H2O AutoML functionalities, and we will discuss all these functionalities in practical as well. Whatever it does some practical, it does some, sorry, data pre-processing. It has some trains a random grid of algorithms. Then it do cross validation. Everything what it returns a leaderboard. So let's start with the practical stuff. So what here I'm doing, I'm just installing H2O. I have actually already installed H2O because it will take certain time. You can see requirement already satisfied. You have to use exclamation pip install H2O. So after this, what I'm doing, I'm just importing H2O Python module. Then I'm initiating a local cluster. Well, here you can see that on executing this local cluster cell, what I am getting some information such as this total number of nodes. Okay, I am getting this Python version, which Python version it's using, and it will also make sure that there is no prior instance of H2O running. Fine. One another important function, you can also use this for using your WebGUI, but here I'm going to use Python, use it with Python. Fine. So if you want to wish to allocate a fixed chunk of memory, you can also specify it within init function. So next what I am doing, I am importing H2O AutoML class. Fine. Then I am importing a file. Fine. So I am using bank marketing data actually. This file I am going to use bank marketing data. Well, in this it will tell whether a person is a member of that particular you can say bank or not. So it is a classification problem. It will result whether a person is yes or no, in whether a person is a member or not a member. So here what I am doing, I am just uploading it. Well, importing file is very much similar to that we does in pandas. In pandas we use read underscore csv. Here we are going to use import underscore file and the file name. Then let's visualize our data. So here is our data. There are these number of columns, and the target column is definitely y column, means we want to check whether the person is a member or not, yes or no. So let's check, let's move further and let's check about its data type. Okay, and you can see there are integer, the data type is integer for few columns, for other it's categorical column. So now let's check the description. We can see that there are total number of these number of rows, columns. Now guys, if you are not familiar with this d types, data types and describe, these functions are similar to that one we have used in pandas. If you guys are not familiar with pandas, you can watch my pandas playlist as well. So here also we are checking the size of our data set, number of rows and columns, and here I am splitting my data set into test and train. Now one more thing, I will upload this code, I will upload this whole file in my GitHub, and will paste the link in the description below. So don't worry about this file and about this code. I will upload everything in the description below. So now I have split this, and now what I'm going to do, I will find the response column, and if since in my data there is no unique identifier, if there is any unique identifier such as customer ID or ID, anything, you can drop that as well. Here I am dropping y since it is actually my response column, so I am saving it as y. And now response column, we know that it will predict whether the person is is linked with that bank or not, yes or no. So I will just remove that column. Fine. And after that what I am doing in H2O AutoML, I am just using actually H2O AutoML, and I am providing maximum runtime 120 seconds. and in verbosity I'm providing info. Well, if you want the whole output, then you can use here debug as well. Okay, if you want entire output, then I am training my dataset. I have created this AML object. So here I am training my dataset, providing XY values, and in training frame I am providing train. So let me execute this, and meanwhile let me show you an H2O AutoML website. Okay, because it will take some time to execute that training data. You can see that here everything is provided, every information, each and every information. Well guys, when you are providing here verbosity, we have provided here maximum runtime seconds 120 and verbosity is equals to info. I have already told you that we can set it as debug as well, and by default it's none. If it's none, it will not provide you all this information, and if you want whole entire output, you can put it as debug. Well, here we can also mention maximum number of models. We have to mention either maximum number of models or maximum runtime seconds. Fine. So we can mention maximum number of models as 5, 10. We can specify how many number of models we want to use. Fine. So we can also exclude algorithms if we want, or we can also include algorithms, any particular algorithm you want to include. Fine, you can provide n folds as well. N folds are basically it will take our training data set and use it for cross validation. By default, n folds are 5. It means it takes 5 cross validation, but we can set it as well according to our needs. So let me just show you this. Okay. So here are some important parameters that are required. Why? I have already told you that response column that is required, training frame that train, these are required parameters. Then there are required stopping parameters. I have already told you maximum runtime seconds or maximum models. We have to mention one of them. Okay. So, okay, if we didn't mention any maximum runtime seconds, by default it is 0, means no limit. Okay, and maximum models are also none by default. Well, there are some optional parameters as well, like X we have mentioned there. Fine, validation frame. Well, validation frame is not required unless we provide n folds is equals to 0. N folds, I have already told you what actually n folds are. Fine, we use it for cross validation. It is by default 5. Then leaderboard frame, all these parameters. There are many other parameters as well. There are some important, and you can just explore it. I will provide the link of this H2O AutoML, their official website, in the link description below. There are exclude algorithms if you want, like if you want any algorithm don't want to be included in your that H2 AutoML, or you can also include algorithms. Fine, so you guys just can explore this. I will provide the link in the description. Moreover, there are videos how to start with Python, with R, Hadoop, how we can start it. Fine, you can get everything. It's very beautifully documented here. So let's go to our code now. Well, what we have done here, we have used a training function, okay, where the AML object that we have created. So we have passed an input column, output column, and training data. Okay. So now if you just look at this, you can see that it had creates a model. And as it is creating a model, it is updating a leaderboard, new leaderboard. Leaderboard actually gives us a top performing models. Fine. So you can see here, okay, and you can see that it has give you the best one is tackled ensemble, best of the family. So it gives all the information. If you want more detailed output, you can use in verbosity is equals to debug as well. Okay, so now here I'm creating leaderboard, and I just want to check my top most models, and by default it will give you 10 top models. Okay, so now here what I am doing, I am going to fetch all the model IDs for further analyzation. And I know that the best model was tagged as ensemble. So what I am doing, I am creating an object SE. and I just want to check the variable importance. Fine, and therefore, and one more thing guys, actually I am checking here for the stack ensemble, but you can also check for other models as well. So here are all the model IDs and you can analyze any other model. For an instance, okay, let me just show you all the model IDs we got here. So these are all the model IDs, and among all these model IDs I am just going for the stack ensemble, and I just want to check the variance importance through the meta learner. So here what I am doing, I am just using the meta learner to check how each base learner is contributing to the ensemble. Fine, so you can see this. Okay, you can just see this how they are contributing to ensemble, and moreover we can check for parameters as well for the stack ensemble. So here are the parameters, and I'm not going to explain each and everything, actually it will take a lot of time. Moreover, we can check for stack ensemble the precision, recall. You can also check for confusion matrix as well. So this will give you all the values. Okay, cumulative data, lower threshold, each and everything you will get actually. So confusion matrix is here. Fine, so it will give you yes no means probability, okay, of getting yes or no, or even error rate, everything. So now what we will do, let's check with the okay, let's go with the test data set we have created. Here we know that what AML is my output object, and I'm going to use the leader here, and we'll check the test data set to do the prediction for this test data set that we have splitted in the above section. So what I'm going to do now, after running this, it will pass the information. Here I will check this prediction head, and you can see that what is the probability of no. Okay, there's 96% yes, so it will give you the prediction and the probability of yes and no. You can also check the performance report as well. So here you can do this for model performance test. You can check the performance report, and you can get all the values for precision, recall, okay, each and everything. You will get accuracy as well. Fine, so after this you can also save the model. As I have already told you, you can save the model either in Mojo, in Pojo, or in pickle format. So here is a description about how you can save the model. Okay, uh, okay, here is about this is about pickle format, this is about Mojo models, okay, everything. Even with the when you do productizing with the H2 AutoML, all the details are given here. Okay, so I will provide you each and everything, even the H2 AutoML official website, my pandas playlist, even the code for this H2 AutoML, and that banking CSV file. Everything I will provide in the description below. So if you have any query, any problem, you can write down in the comment section. And guys, if you have learned something, please like this video and share it with others as well. So thank you so much. Stay tuned. Bye bye.